Virgo, have you noticed something strange lately? Maybe it's that one room in your house that suddenly feels colder than the others, or that object on the shelf that seems to move ever so slightly, even though no one touched it. Perhaps it's the feeling that someone was just there, and then wasn't. Have you been waking up in the middle of the night without knowing why, restless, unsettled, and yet everything looks normal, at least on the surface? These aren't just weird coincidences, they're signs. And Virgo, out of all the signs, you are the one most attuned to picking up on what others miss. You notice the way the light shifts in a room, the tiniest creak in the floorboards, the way the air feels thicker in one corner of your home. But this time, it's not just about details, it's about energy. And your space, your personal sanctuary, is trying to talk to you. It's not just your imagination. The universe is sending signals through the one place you've always thought of as safe, secure, predictable. But things are shifting. The harmony you've worked so hard to build feels off. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually an invitation, a wake-up call. Because what if your home is no longer a reflection of who you are, but who you're becoming? This isn't about rearranging furniture or lighting a candle. It's about listening deeply. Because when your home starts to feel unfamiliar, it means something inside you is evolving. And right now, the universe is opening a door, a rare energetic window that only shows up once every few decades. One that's asking you to pause, breathe, and tune in. So I ask you, when was the last time you really looked around your home? I mean, truly felt into it. Not with your eyes, but with your energy. What's trying to speak to you from the corners, from the walls, from the silence? I once knew someone, also a Virgo, who kept hearing the same creak in their hallway every night at 3:11 a.m. At first, they thought it was plumbing, but then they noticed a pattern every time it happened. They felt waves of emotion rising, memories they hadn't faced in years. That creak led them to finally open an old drawer where they found letters from their father they had buried and forgotten. It became the start of their healing. Virgo, this moment isn't random, it's personal, it's powerful, and it's just the beginning. Let's talk about your home. Virgo, not just the walls and windows, but the energy it holds. Your home is more than a structure. It's a mirror, a reflection of everything happening inside you. Every room carries the energy of a different part of your life. And lately, you may have noticed, some of those rooms feel off. That messy corner you keep avoiding, it might represent the unresolved emotions you've tucked away. The guest room that feels strangely cold, that could be the part of you that's shut others out for fear of being hurt again. The kitchen, where you haven't truly enjoyed a meal in months. Maybe it's time to nourish yourself, not just with food, but with presence and care. You see, Virgo, your environment doesn't lie. It echoes what's been unspoken, what's been neglected. And when things start shifting inside you, when your heart wants to grow, but your habits try to keep everything the same, that's when your space starts reflecting discomfort. It's not punishment, it's clarity. Your home is showing you what your soul already knows. Think about it when you walk into a room and immediately feel uneasy. That's not random. That feeling is your inner self reacting to a place that's no longer in alignment with who you are becoming. One Virgo I worked with had a perfectly clean bedroom, but always felt exhausted in it. After weeks of ignoring it, she finally went through her closet and found an old box filled with journals from a relationship that ended in betrayal. She burned the journals in a safe ritual, and within days, the heaviness in that room lifted. Sometimes the energy stays until the truth is faced. So here's a thought. What if the tension in your home isn't something to fix, but something to feel into? What if each uncomfortable space is holding a message for you, asking for attention, forgiveness, or release? When you truly start to view your home as an energetic map of your inner life, everything changes. Cleaning becomes healing. Rearranging a room becomes making space for a new version of yourself. Even lighting a candle becomes a ceremony of calling your soul back to center. So, Virgo, the question isn't whether your house needs a deep clean. The question is what part of you is asking to be seen right now. That's where the transformation begins, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. And sometimes, what needs to be seen isn't dramatic. It might be as small as a drawer that keeps jamming, yet it holds receipts from a time when you felt financially stuck. Or the broken lamp you meant to fix months ago, sitting in the corner like a silent symbol of how you've been dimming your own light. These little things pile up, not just physically, but energetically. They become reminders, unconscious anchors to emotions and identities you've outgrown. But when you engage with them, when you clean, clear, or simply acknowledge them, you begin a subtle but powerful shift. You create movement. And movement is life. Even science agrees with this. Environmental psychology has shown that cluttered or neglected spaces increase cortisol levels, which impacts not only stress, but also memory, sleep, and emotional regulation. So what you do with your home isn't trivial. It directly affects your nervous system and your ability to feel grounded. That's why this isn't just about being tidy. This is about choosing to live in alignment. When your outer space reflects peace, it supports your inner peace. When your home feels like a true extension of your soul, you naturally show up more present, more open, more you. So, take a look around today. One small shift, clearing a shelf, letting go of one item, opening a window could unlock something inside you you've been waiting to feel for years. Virgo, your home has been waiting for you to see it. Now it's time to listen. Virgo, let's go deeper. You've started noticing strange shifts in your space, but what exactly should you be paying attention to? The truth is, energy doesn't always announce itself with a bang. Sometimes it whispers, repeats, nudges, and if you're not tuned in, you'll miss the message. Start with the physical signs. The room that's always cold, even when the heat is on. The hallway where lights flicker for no reason. The clock that always seems to hit the same time when something odd happens. These aren't just household quirks. They're energetic patterns forming around you, telling you something isn't settled. And then there are the sounds. Soft creaks, knocks, the hum of silence that suddenly feels louder than usual. Maybe you've heard tapping sounds at night, or the floorboard creaks in the same spot always when you're alone. These sounds might not mean ghosts, but they do mean presence. The presence of stuck energy trying to move, to be noticed, to be released. Then there's the emotional layer. That feeling of restlessness when you walk through a certain room. The random wave of sadness or anxiety when you sit on a particular chair. Or worse, the numbness, the sense that no matter what you do, the space around you feels disconnected, flat, lifeless. All of that is your inner world responding to a space that no longer supports your energy. Or maybe it's your energy trying to outgrow the space. One woman I knew, also a Virgo, told me she always avoided her bathroom. She thought it was just because the lighting was bad. But during a deep clearing, she remembered that was the room she cried in every night after a major breakup. The room had absorbed that pain. Once she acknowledged it and added intentional light, scent, and sound, the whole feeling of the space changed. You see, Virgo, you're not crazy for noticing these things. You're just more sensitive than most. And that sensitivity is your superpower, especially now. Let's break it down into 3 key groups of signs you might be experiencing right now. Group 1, physical sensations. This includes temperature shifts, flickering lights, electrical glitches, or even smells that come and go. These are the first layer signs that something wants your attention. Group 2, emotional triggers. If being in a certain space in your home causes unexpected emotions, anxiety, or flashbacks, that space holds unresolved energy. It's asking for healing, not avoidance. Group 3 patterns and timing. Repetitive experiences like objects always falling at the same time or dreams that happen in the same room mean there's a loop of energy running through your space. When energy loops, it traps you in past versions of yourself. But when you notice it, you can break the cycle. These signs are not random. They are invitations. And the more you ignore them, the louder they get. But when you listen, truly listen, they start to soften, they start to guide. And suddenly, what once felt like chaos becomes clarity. So ask yourself, Virgo, what's been repeating around you? What keeps nudging you when you're alone? What part of your home keeps trying to get your attention? It's not about fear, it's about awareness. And once you're aware, you can reclaim your space and your peace. Virgo, what if I told you that the strange things happening in your home right now aren't just personal? They're cosmic right now. There's a rare alignment in the sky, one that only comes around once every 28 years. Venus, your ruling planet, has moved into a powerful conjunction with Pluto, and it's all happening in your 4th house, the house of home, roots, and emotional foundation. This isn't your average astrological event. Venus is the planet of harmony, beauty, and connection. Pluto, he doesn't play around. He's the planet of deep transformation, death, rebirth, and the hidden truths we usually avoid. So when these two meet in your house of home, it's like the universe is saying, it's time to clean out the spiritual basement. And I don't just mean spring cleaning. I'm talking about the emotional imprints in your home, the ones left by heartbreak, by grief, by old versions of you that are no longer true. These energies build up, and this rare transit is the cosmic broom that's here to help you sweep them out. Now, think about this 28 years ago. Where were you if you're old enough to remember? You might recall a time of major upheaval or a complete reset in your sense of belonging. Maybe you moved houses. Maybe your family dynamic shifted. Maybe you had to redefine what safety and home meant to you. Whatever it was, that same energetic doorway is opening again, but this time, you're more conscious. You're more prepared. I've seen people suddenly feel the urge to rearrange their entire living room during this transit, or finally let go of heirlooms they've clung to for decades. One Virgo woman told me she started crying uncontrollably when she walked into her childhood bedroom during a visit home. It wasn't the room, it was the energy that had been waiting years for her to return and release it. This alignment is powerful because it doesn't ask for small talk, it demands honesty. And it starts at home. Because home is where we store everything we can't always deal with in the moment. But now the cosmos is saying it's time. You don't have to know astrology to feel this. You just have to pay attention. The emotional tension, the memories resurfacing, the sudden desire to change something in your space. It's all part of the transformation. You're not imagining it. Virgo, this is your portal, and it doesn't stay open forever. What you choose to do with this energy now can create a ripple effect that shifts the emotional foundation of your life for decades to come. Don't waste it. And here's the thing about Pluto. He doesn't bring surface-level change. His energy is slow, deep, and lasting. So even if you don't do anything right away, the discomfort will keep bubbling up. It'll show itself through tension in conversations, unexpected emotional waves, or even physical symptoms like exhaustion when you're at home. Not to hurt you, but to reveal what's ready to heal. This is your moment to make peace with the past so you can reclaim your space in the present. Maybe that means writing a letter you never send. Maybe it's finally painting that wall a new color, or opening a box you've kept closed for years. These small acts can become sacred rituals when you do them with intention. So if you've felt a strange urgency, like something needs to change but you can't quite name it, this is why. The universe is guiding you through a deeply personal, once-in-a-generation reset. Let it guide you, because on the other side of this portal is a more grounded, peaceful, aligned version of you living in a space that fully supports your evolution. All right, Virgo. Now that you've noticed the signs and understood how your home is reflecting your inner state, let's talk about what you can actually do. You don't have to feel powerless in this process. You can work with the energy instead of against it, and it starts with a very simple but powerful 3-step method. I call it observe, dialogue, and act. Step 1, observe without judgment. This isn't about rushing to fix everything or getting caught up in the chaos. It's about slowing down and paying attention. Walk through your home like it's the first time. Let yourself feel the energy of each room. Where do you feel relaxed? Where do you feel heavy? What do you notice without trying to label it as good or bad? Maybe you pause in your bedroom and feel a strange tightness in your chest, or you walk into the living room and feel like the walls are watching. Don't explain it away. Just take note. Jot it down in a notebook. This step is about learning to trust your sensitivity. Step 2, dialogue with your space. Yes, it might sound weird at first, but remember, your home is alive in its own way. It holds memories, moments, energy. So ask it questions. Sit quietly in a room and simply say in your mind, "What are you trying to tell me?" Then wait. Pay attention to what comes up. Maybe a childhood memory surfaces. Maybe a phrase pops into your head. Maybe your body responds with tears or calm or tension. That's your answer. It's not about logic, it's about resonance. Sometimes the house doesn't speak in words, but in sensations. Learn to listen. I once knew a Virgo woman who felt uneasy in her home office. She couldn't concentrate, always found herself pacing or procrastinating. One evening, she lit a candle, sat quietly, and asked, "What is it about this room?" Within minutes, she remembered that this used to be her father's study he had passed years ago. She never changed the arrangement of the furniture. It still held his imprint. After she rearranged the space and added things that reflected her own purpose, photos, colors, even a scent diffuser, she finally felt like she could breathe and focus again. Now we move to step 3, take inspired action. Once you've observed and listened, now it's time to move energy. This doesn't mean you need to redecorate your entire house. Often, it's the small shifts that matter most. Clear out one drawer that holds things you no longer need. Place a crystal, a candle, or a symbol in a room that needs healing. If a space feels heavy, play music or use sound bowls to reset the frequency. Even just opening a window with intention can start to move energy that's been stuck for years. Science backs this up too. Studies show that our physical environments directly affect our mental clarity and emotional well-being. Something as simple as bringing more natural light into a room can lift mood and boost focus. So when you make space feel lighter, you're actually changing how your nervous system responds to life itself. The key is consistency and intention. This is not a one-time fix. It's a practice. As your inner world evolves, so will your space. And each time you take a conscious action, your home becomes more aligned with who you are becoming, not who you were. Virgo, you don't need to have all the answers right now. You just need to begin. Observe what feels off, ask what it means, and take one clear action toward harmony. Bit by bit, your home will shift. And as it does, you'll feel yourself shift too in ways you didn't expect, but always needed. Your home wants to support you. Let me tell you a story. Virgo, one that might sound a little too close to home. It's about a woman named Selena, also a Virgo. Strong, thoughtful, always the one who kept everything in order. On the outside, her home was perfect. Spotless kitchen, everything labeled, candles in the right corners. But something felt wrong. She couldn't explain it. Every time she stepped into her hallway, her stomach would tighten. Her dreams had become vivid, and one particular dream kept coming back, a box falling from One morning, she finally decided to open the old chest in her attic. It hadn't been touched in over 10 years. Dust thick on top, lock rusted. Inside, she found letters she wrote but never sent. Letters to her mother, filled with pain, anger, and words she never had the chance to say before her mother passed. That moment broke something open. She cried, but it wasn't sadness, it was release. Her home had been holding those emotions all along. For weeks after, things shifted. Rooms felt lighter. She started laughing more, sleeping deeper. She even began painting again, something she hadn't done in years. It was as if clearing that one corner of her home cleared space in her soul. That's the power of a conscious space. It doesn't just change how your house feels. It transforms how you move through life. And here's what's beautiful. Selena thought she was alone in this. But when she shared her experience in a small online Virgo group, dozens of others said, "Me too." They shared stories of old closets, forgotten journals, even childhood toys that brought up floods of emotion. Suddenly, they weren't just cleaning, they were healing. Together, this is what we call the Virgo Collective Awakening. Right now, Virgos across the world are being asked to look deeper into their home space, to stop pretending everything is okay, and to meet themselves exactly where they are with honesty and compassion. This isn't about being dramatic. It's about being real, because you can't organize your way out of grief. You can't light enough candles to cover up decades of self-neglect. You have to feel it to free it. There's so much wisdom in these spaces we live in. They hold echoes of who we used to be and quiet invitations for who we could become. And it doesn't matter whether you live in a tiny apartment or a big house in the hills. The transformation starts the moment you stop avoiding the parts of your space that feel heavy and start asking why. Another Virgo man shared that after his divorce, he kept his ex-wife's books on the shelf out of guilt. He didn't even like the books. One night, he removed them, donated them, and rearranged the shelves with books that reflected who he is now, not who he was trying to be for someone else. He said it felt like he reclaimed part of his voice, like he could finally breathe. These shifts may seem small, but they're massive, because when your environment starts aligning with your true self, you stop walking around with your shoulders tight and your breath shallow. You come home and feel safe in your own skin again. So, Virgo, if you've been wondering why things feel off, why emotions are bubbling up, why your space doesn't quite feel like yours anymore, it's because you're changing, and your home is asking to change with you. What will you release? What will you rediscover? Because I promise you, when you answer the call, when you face the energy that's been hiding in plain sight, you won't just have a cleaner house. You'll have a deeper sense of peace, a reconnection to your truth, and maybe, just maybe, a doorway into the next version of who you're meant to be. Virgo, we've come a long way in this journey, and now we arrive at the turning point. You've listened, you've observed, you've seen how your home reflects the quiet parts of your soul. But now comes the moment that matters most. What are you going to do with all of this? Because here's the truth. Awareness without action is just more weight. And right now, your home isn't just reflecting your past. It's asking for your future. It's begging to become a sanctuary for who you are becoming, not just a storage unit for who you used to be. There comes a time when the discomfort can't be ignored anymore, when the energy builds up so loudly, so relentlessly, that you either have to face it or let it drain you day by day. And Virgo, I know you. You don't like drama. You don't like chaos. But avoiding it doesn't bring peace, it just delays the healing. Some people say it's just a room, It's just a chair. It's just a box in the closet. But you and I both know it's never just about the object. It's about what it represents. A memory you never grieved, a version of you that you've outgrown, a story you no longer have to carry. These aren't decorations. These are mirrors. And right now, the universe has cracked open a window brief. But powerful. It's not a warning. It's an invitation. But that window won't stay open forever. So ask yourself, with honesty, is the space you live in truly supporting the life you're trying to build? Or is it silently anchoring you to a past you've outgrown? I've seen people make one small change: clear a table, donate a piece of furniture, light a candle with intention, and suddenly they're sleeping better, arguing less, feeling more like themselves. It's not magic. It's alignment. Your energy and your environment finally speaking the same language. So many Virgos wait until they're exhausted to make changes. They think if they just hold it all together for everyone else, eventually peace will come. But peace doesn't arrive. You have to create it. You have to choose it. And sometimes, that choice starts with sweeping the floor and letting the tears fall. And here's the real question: who will you become when you stop avoiding the space that's been calling you? What wisdom is waiting for you in the dust, in the silence, in the drawer you haven't opened in years? Because healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's the sound of a window opening, the scent of fresh air after you let something go, the deep breath you didn't even know you were holding. This moment is sacred. And it's not just about you. When you shift your space, you shift your frequency. And when your frequency rises, everyone around you feels it. Your kids, your partner, your clients, your future. So don't miss this. Don't sleep through the sacred. Virgo, this is your chance to turn the place you live into a reflection of the life you deserve. And it starts with one question, one final question that only you can answer. Are you ready to come home to yourself? Because your home has been waiting. Maybe this feels overwhelming. Maybe you're thinking, where do I even start? That's okay. You don't need to overhaul your entire home in one day. Start small. Start with the corner that feels the heaviest. Start with the drawer that makes you sigh every time you pass it. Start with the shelf full of things you haven't touched in years. Each small step is a vote for your future self, and let it be emotional. Let it be sacred. You might cry when you throw something out. You might laugh when you find a forgotten photo. You might feel nothing at all until days later. That's all part of it. Healing doesn't follow a schedule. It follows your readiness. Some people journal to understand what their space is teaching them. Others meditate in each room, letting the energy speak through sensations and memories. Others simply light incense and say thank you. There's no right way, only your way. But the most important part, showing up again and again. Because when you show up for your space, you show up for your life. So Virgo, if no one has told you this lately, your energy matters. Your space matters. Your peace matters. And you don't need permission to reclaim any of it. You're not just cleaning, you're releasing. You're not just rearranging, you're realigning. And you're not just coming home, you're becoming home. Let that sink in. Because the moment you treat your space like a sacred ally, it will start reflecting back the person you're meant to become. Not the one you were expected to be, but the one your soul has been whispering about all along. So again, I ask, are you ready to come home to yourself? Because your home is ready. And it's been waiting for this moment too.